Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with an EDC update for you. I'm gonna do a full one this time. I did one on the live show, but I know that show's an hour long. If you don't watch it live, a lot of people don't go back and watch it because it's an hour long. I understand why you wouldn't click on an hour-long video to watch something like that, but you guys like these a whole lot, so I'm going to do a proper one this time. Before I get started, let me say a lot of these knives will be available on White Mountain Knives. Go check them out at whitemountainKnives.com because if you use my code SDWMK, you get a discount, 10% off anything on the store, not just stuff that's in my videos, anything you want to get. And they sell some pretty expensive stuff, so if you want to buy like a Hinderer or something like that, 10% off, that's a big deal. You know, they got a lot of Emerson, stuff like that, a lot of really expensive stuff. So high-end ZTs, all that kind of stuff. But let's get going. Just to explain, I have adjusted some things a little bit too. That's also why I'm doing this again. I'm now not counting stuff that I know I'm carrying just for review. I just ignore those in my little spreadsheet thing. So these are ones I actually carry for me. These are the ones that I carry for my own personal use the most. We're going to do 2 secondaries and 5 primaries as usual, with the caveat of there's a couple honorable mentions that would have made it if I'd had them for longer, and also there was a tie. So we'll do the honorable mentions first. Let's start with that. My honorable mention for my secondaries is this is one that's been creeping back in the last week or so. The Spyderco Little Native. I'd almost kind of forgotten I owned this. I was doing one of those little Instagram has those Spyderco Sundays or Saturdays, whatever it is, you know, those little hashtag things. And I'm a whore for followers and clickbait, so I was participating in that, and I wanted to carry 2 Spydercos, and for a secondary, I pulled this out, and yeah, I forgot how much I liked it. I really like the Little Native. Great ergonomics, great little blade, S30V, very good. Next up, honorable mention would be for my in the primaries. For my bigger knives, would definitely be, and I'm sure it will definitely be in the next one. This is the Ritter RSK Mark I G2 made by Hogue M390 blade. I'm freaking loving this thing, and it's been in my pocket a ton. And I'm sure that if I've only had it for like a little over a week, if I'd had more time with it, it definitely would have made it because I carried a whole lot. G10 scales, just a great knife. Just really, really good. I'm not going to go on it too much because I'm sure it'll be in the next video of these. So we're going to put that aside. Now let's get into the actual ones. Let's get going with the actual, my 2 primaries or 2 secondaries and 5 primaries. We have, first up, the Bestech engine. Still carry this a whole ton. Very, very cool knife. S35 Van Steel. Looks amazing. Absolutely not Brian spec with this kind of rainbow effect tie they have on the back here. I can't remember what they call it now off the top of my head, but really, really loving it. Slicey little blade. It's one that I carry as a primary sometimes too, so it's just it's a really good knife. My favorite thing about it, I don't know why, I just love looking at this little, the way they do the backspacer on this thing, that kind of half over thing is just so cool. It's just awesome. And as I said before, the action on this is much better than the one that was in the review. I will try to link to all the reviews down below, but that's going to be quite a task, so we shall see if I get that done or not. But yeah, very, very good little knife. But the secondary I carry the most is definitely still the Three Rivers Manufacturing Atlas. It's been a great knife. I had the fortune to be in a little independent movie. If it ever comes out, I'll let you guys know, but we'll see. I was on the set for like 2.5 days, and I brought this because I knew it wouldn't intimidate anybody, and it got used a whole lot because it's a very low-budget movie, and a lot of times it didn't have a whole lot of cast and crew, and a whole lot of times something needed to get cut open at the last minute, and I was the only guy with a knife, so this thing got used a whole lot. Just nice little slip joint, little thing, loving it, and I know they're going to be available again soon, so keep track of Three Rivers for that. Okay, let's get into the primaries. Starting off with a tie, the Spyderco Sage 5, and another Three Rivers manufacturing knife, the Neutron. These both go back and forth, just depending on what day or what mood I am in on the day. If I'm in a place where I have to carry a 3-inch knife, which I often am. Where I live, I can carry a 4-inch knife, but literally, if I go literally 4 blocks down the road, I'm supposed to have under 3-inch. I don't always exactly follow that, but you're supposed to. So I try to be careful about it. Sometimes I just forget about it. But yeah, we have 2 3-inchers here that I go back and forth with the most. The Neutron, I love my Viator, which is basically a slip joint version of this. Or more accurately, you could say this is the locking version of the Viator. Awesome, super slicey blade. 20 CV on this one, which is a great steel. The best, arguably. I use the micarta scales on it. As with all TRMs, you can quick change the scales, but this one came with the micarta, or came with the micarta on it. They also threw in some G10 ones so I could check them out, but they're orange. I'm probably never going to put those on it, so I think I put them on it just to see how it was for the review, but then they'll sit in a drawer. But I'm really liking it. One change I did make with it, I used to carry this with a deep carry pocket clip. I think this was in a long-term update a while ago, or a couple days ago too, but and I just went back to the standard one. I used a Benchmade deep carry clip, works with it, but it was too deep carry. You know, it stuck out like that much from the back of the handle, and I didn't need it, so I went back to the standard one, which is perfectly adequate. Still liking it. Action's still really good. Still loving everything about it. Everything I liked about it in the initial review, I stand by. Still feel that way. It is a great knife. Next up is the Spyderco Sage 5, which you guys convinced me to buy. There's going to be another knife in this too that you guys convinced me to buy, so I'm going to start listening to my viewers more often, I guess. The Sage 5 is just so good. It's so comfortable. It's got everything you love about a Spyderco. It's got a really nice compression lock. This is a Tai Chung knife, so it's a very good, quality made. I like the peel ply carbon that some people freak out about. I love the deep carry pocket clip that some people don't like. So to me, this against a pair of 3 all day long, I'm going to choose one of these. I wish more knives had the deep carry pocket clip. If the pair of 3 had that, then maybe we'd be more even. But this has just been a great little 3-inch knife, and I carry it all the damn time. It is awesome. Next up, we will have. It was kind of impressive that it snuck in here when it did, because I have not had this long, only a couple weeks, but this is one that you guys also suggested that I get, and you were right. This is your Cold Steel Code 4. I freaking love this thing. It was, again, it was one that you guys told me to get, so that put it on my radar, and I was always kind of thinking about getting one, and I also wanted to try out, now that Cold Steel is switching from XHP to S35, I wanted to try one of their S35 knives, and, yeah, awesome. Price is good. It's very slim. It's very light. It's a good size. It's very comfortable in the hand, especially considering how thin this handle is. I feel that the aluminum isn't a big deal as far as it staying in your hand, because it's got these finger grooves that work great for my fingers. It's got a little bit of jimping on it. I never feel like it's going to slip out of my hand. I know I've heard some people say, it's too slippery. I don't think so. I think it's perfectly fine. The triad lock on this is not super stiff, so it will drop, and when it does drop, it's not going to bite you. Look at that. It's got that nice little thing there. That annoys me sometimes on cold steels. I know some people just say, cold steels, just close it two-handed. Don't worry about that. Nah, it worries me. I bite myself. I don't like doing that. It's not fun. That's why I sold I had a Cold Steel Bush Ranger, and I sold it because I got tired of getting bit. But, yeah. It's an awesome knife. You guys were right, and I should listen to you more often. Next up, this is one that is on the list. I am having an issue with it that some of you in the live show expressed you were having issues with, and I said I didn't have that issue, and then karma bit me in the ass, and now I'm having it. So this will be interesting for you. This is my Mass Drop Perpetua, designed by TJ Schwartz, made by Millet Knives. I still really like it. The issue that it has, I know I can fix, and I'm going to do so. I haven't done it yet, solely because I wanted to show it in a video like this. Another reason why I'm doing this video is to show this little flaw that I've had, but you guys were complaining about some corrosion on it, and yeah, I've got it now. I hadn't before. I said, nope, that's not a problem. I haven't had it. Not a problem for me, but now I do. If you can see right there, Just some little spots right there behind the thumb stud. And a little bit on the other side. That's the only spots that it's got it. But yeah, it's annoying. I'm sure 5 minutes and some flits will get rid of it. And then I will put the Aegis EDCI stuff on it, which is the green magic sauce that I love so much. This stuff is great if you have a non-stainless blade. But Nitro V shouldn't do that, so that's kind of annoying. I guess Nitro V isn't as stain resistant or as stainless as I initially thought. Someone corrected me on that, and the same person who corrected me on that also had a very good theory as to why this is happening. He thinks it's the finish they use on this blade, and he's smarter than me about steel, so I'm going to believe him on that. So yeah, I'm going to clean it off and Aegis it, and I'm sure it'll be fine. And if I would have done that from the beginning, it would have never done this. Aegis, that stuff is, the EDCI is amazing stuff. I think there's a witchcraft involved. It works really, really well. But other than that little thing, I'm still really liking the knife. I really love the ergonomics of it. I think it's a better version of the Axis lock than Benchmade does. I just think it's great. It's been a really good knife. There were definitely some QC issues when they came out. I'm not going to deny that, but mine has been excellent, except for that little corrosion issue. But again, that's super easy to take care of. Not a big deal. And once I take care of that, I'm going to be back to carrying it a whole lot again. Next up, still on, is the SpydercoAquila. I'm loving this thing. We made knife. Very good quality. This is one of the more expensive Spydercos, the $68 ones with the VG10. Just an excellent, excellent blade. Very, very thin behind the edge. Very slicey. I'm very much enjoying it. I like that it's got 2 different deployment methods. I like that you can Spidey flick it. You can thumb flick it. You can use the flipper tab, and in every one of those deployment methods, the detent is perfect. And you're getting ceramic ball bearings and ceramic, ceramic detent ball. It's a great knife. Now, it does currently have the titanium pocket clip on it. This is not how I normally carry it, I will say. I used this yesterday for another video that you guys will see in a while. So I put it back to its stock form, but I usually use the deep carry clip off from my Civivi Praxis, which is one of the cheaper $42 Civivis, but it's a metal, just a regular stainless loop over clip. I like that deep carry clip better, so that's what I usually use on it. I put it back on again just for video purposes, but this isn't bad, it's fine, but I like the loop over one better, and I just wish they came with a loop over one. I don't know why they put the titanium clip on it, and it always makes me wonder, of that $68, how many dollars of that is this titanium milled clip that universally seems people would rather have the loop over, so I don't know. I don't mind the gold liners. Some people really freak out about that. I think especially with the black handles, it looks like, Burt Reynolds Trans Am. I love it. I think it looks cool, and that's not a normal thing for me to say, because I normally like my knives pretty plain, as you can see if you look over this whole thing, this whole video. But yeah, it's just been a great knife. Ergonomics are good. There's really nothing to dislike about it. And it's $68, so if I gotta go do something, hack through a box that I'm pretty sure doesn't have any staples in it, then this is fine. I don't worry about it. It's but a lot of my more expensive stuff, I'm not gonna do that with. So as I'm not gonna call it beater price. $68 isn't cheap, but it's approaching beater price range. And also, I have to say that this VG10 is holding up really good. You guys know I've railed against Spyderco's VG10 about being too soft. I don't know exactly what the HRC on this is, but it seems pretty good. It seems to hold up a lot better than Spyderco's VG10 does. I have had to touch it up a couple times, but I've never had to properly sharpen it. I'm pretty anal about that, so that's not really that surprising. But I really don't feel like I'm sharpening up or touching it up as much as I am with the Spyderco stuff. So very much happy with the Aquila. I'm really surprised this wound up being my favorite of the Civivis that have come out so far. But when they come out with a 3-inch one, I may lose my tiny little mind and go nuts over it. Lastly, same most carried knife of last month and it's still the most carried knife of this month, and I can't believe it because it is not one that I planned on even keeping when I bought it. Is the ZT-0393 Stonewash. I don't know why. I just really like this. There's nothing about this knife that I truly love, but there's so much that I like that when I just go reach for a knife, it's often the one I grab. Like when I'm just in a hurry and don't want to think about which one I want in my pocket for the day, it's often this. It's comfortable enough. The blade is slicey enough. If there's one thing I could change, I wish it was a little bit more slicey. I put a deep carry pocket clip on it from MXG Gear, and that works great. It's good looking. I love the way it looks. I never thought I'd be a Hinderer guy, but this is a Hinderer design made by ZT. It's made me want an XM18 very, very badly. Yeah, but there's one thing that still bothers me about it, though, is that the production one, which is blue with the black, which I think looks hideous, comes in 20 CV. The sprint runs come in S35 VN, which is not as good as steel, which is kind of odd, but yeah, I'm still really loving it. Now, before anyone asks, this video by Nero Knives has gone everywhere, so everybody asks about it. Does my lock fail when I spine thwack it? No, it doesn't. This one is fine. I only own 2 ZTs. It's this, and I think I still have it over here. 0609. Neither of them, I can spine thwack them for days, and they don't come loose. So I know that's the video, and everybody's talking about it, and I guess I have seen it. I saw that he definitely had a problem with several of them. I have not. And I can only go by what I experience. So I haven't owned a lot of ZTs. I think I've had a couple pass through quickly for review. I don't usually spine thwack other people's knives, so I can't comment on those. And then the first one I owned, I never did. I had an 0450. It's not a little small knife. That's not one that's not a spine thwacky kind of knife anyway. But of the 2 that I owned, that I have tried it out on, I've done exactly the same thing he did, and no, they don't come loose. So just get that out of the way. That's all I have to say about it. They definitely did for him. They don't for me. So, all right. Let's move on. So that is it. That is all my most carried knives of October into November of 2018. So hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.